It's 3 a.m. in the Mojave Desert. David Goggins is soaked in sweat, miles into an ultramarathon that's already shredded most minds and bodies. His toes are bleeding, breath ragged, yet something deep inside forces him forward. Not pain, not fear, but a relentless whisper, "You're never finished." How did this man, once a self-described failure, rewrite his entire story? And more importantly, what does never finished really mean when life feels like it's breaking you? Hang tight, because this isn't just a race against miles. It's a race against your own limits. Goggins didn't start tough. His childhood in Buffalo, NY, was an unforgiving blur of poverty, racism, and abuse. But hitting the absolute bottom lit a fire that wouldn't quit. Picture young David in his grimy Buffalo neighborhood, bullied and beaten, living with his mentally abusive father. One night, after a vicious fight, he decides enough's enough. He signs up for the Navy SEAL training, the toughest military pipeline in the world, despite knowing he's the slowest, least prepared guy around. The real shock: he makes it through, but only barely. What does it take to transform that kind of damage into raw, combustible motivation? Goggins calls it the cookie jar, a mental vault where every past victory, every painful challenge overcome, gets stored like a prize cookie. When you hit the wall, when your lungs scream or your brain begs you to stop, you reach into that jar. Think of it like a mental battery pack, holstered inside your mind, ready to power you through the toughest moments. It's not unlike a smartphone that pulls from saved energy reserves when the battery's low. This is the tool that shifts despair into endurance. The payoff is staggering. Once you can welcome pain, shuddering your primitive reflex to run, you unlock a shockwave of mental toughness few possess. Goggins reveals for the first time that pain isn't the enemy, it's the gateway to your true potential. And once you pass through that gateway, you're never the same. Life's harshest moments become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. You think you're done. Goggins peels back the curtain on a brutal reality check. When your mind screams stop, you're only at 40% of capacity. What's lurking behind that mental brick wall? During a 100-mile race in California, Goggins hits a moment so dark, he's curled up, contemplating quitting, his body shattered, heart pounding out of sync. But there's a whisper in his brain, cold and ruthless. No, this isn't the end. It's just 40%. He forces himself up, pace steady but fierce, surpassing countless runners who gave up. What secret wiring in his mind keeps that margin unlocked when others hit their breaking point? Goggins frames the mind as both prison warden and escape artist. That inner voice that yells stop. It's a jailer designed to keep you safe from false danger. But what if the jail door is just an illusion? Like a magician's trick, your mind uses fear to control your output. Recognizing this lets you pick the lock. The mental chains fall away, revealing a wellspring of untapped energy. Here's the punchline. By consistently attacking that mental jail, you not only burst through current limits, you rewrite the whole script. Those who embrace the 40% rule don't just eke out survival, they redefine what possible looks like. The transformation is seismic, from victim of circumstance to architect of extraordinary endurance. Ever face yourself without blinking? Goggins unveils a ruthless strategy that flips ego and excuses on their heads, staring honestly in the mirror until denial's dead. Goggins wakes at 4 a.m. in Florida, dragging exhaustion from the day before. Standing in front of his bathroom mirror, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He shouts at his reflection about his weaknesses, laziness, and half measures. This nightly ritual isn't self-hate, it's a drilling ground for self-improvement. By refusing to lie to himself, no matter how uncomfortable, he advances farther than anyone banking on motivation alone. But how do you maintain this level of honest intensity without breaking yourself. The mirror is more than glass. It's a disciplinary tool, a feedback loop. Imagine it as a battering ram smashing the fragile walls of denial you build around yourself. This kind of brutal honesty clears the fog that excuses throw up, forcing you to face reality naked. Once the facade crumbles, you can carve a precise roadmap for change, a stark contrast to the vague hopes most cling to. The payoff? Goggins erases the fuzzy line between flaws and frontiers. Instead of shrinking from weakness, he plucks it out like a weed, marking exactly what to fix day by day. This turns growth into a science, not a prayer. By the end, you don't dread the reflection. You crave it as the ultimate accountability partner. Your hands aren't the only things that need calluses. Goggins teaches how to toughen your brain so it endures relentless pressure without cracking. During SEAL Hell Week, when sleep is a myth and cold water numbs every nerve, Goggins doesn't just endure, he thrives. He likens each mental hit to a blister forming, toughening his resolve. One day, after hours of submerged training in frigid Oregon rivers, his mind starts begging for mercy, but he pushes further. Those repeated sessions build mental calluses that deflect fear and fatigue. But what's the secret ingredient that turns pain into armor, not injury? He uses a vivid muscle analogy. Just like physical muscle grows through tiny tears caused by weightlifting, your mind toughens by experiencing bite-sized adversity repeatedly. Each stressful moment is a microscopic tear, forcing repair and growth. This mental hypertrophy makes you unshakable, much like calloused hands can grip razor wire without flinching. It's a brutal, honed process that defies comfort but delivers unstoppable resilience. The surprise: once calloused, your definition of comfort zone contracts radically. Normal life stressors shrink to nothing, replaced by a hunger for challenge. You crave the squeeze and the sting because you know it's the sculptor of strength. Goggins isn't just tougher, he's addicted to growth on the other side of pain. The book's title isn't just a motto, it's a lifestyle. Goggins frames life as an ongoing mission where finished is a lie your mind uses to settle. After completing SEAL training, multiple ultra events, and breaking world records, most would rest. Not Goggins. On the day he sets a pull-up record, 4:0:30 in 17 hours, he's already plotting more. He knows there's no finish line, no shining trophy. That hunger to keep forging ahead is rooted in a deep truth. If you rest, the mind atrophies. If you settle, ambition dies. So how do you live as if you're never finished without burning out? Goggins flips the traditional success narrative. Instead of aiming for a final, peak moment of achievement, he treats life like a battle rhythm. Every day is a mission to outdo your past self by a tiny fraction. It's like an endless game of improving your personal best. This mindset transforms complacency into urgency, a pulse that keeps you awake and hungry at all hours, no matter the scars or setbacks. Here's the kicker: adopting Never Finished doesn't just grow your capacity, it rewires your identity. You stop being the person limited by past scars or current pain. Instead, you become someone defined by relentless forward motion, perpetual self-improvement, and an unbreakable commitment to the process. That relentless chase, it's contagious, and it changes everything. Back to that 3 a.m. desert scene. Goggins isn't just running against miles or pain. He's racing the idea that he's ever done. Your toughest moments, like his bleeding toes and ragged breath, are invitations, challenges carved in sand and sweat, daring you to step beyond what you thought possible. Here's your action. Next time you hit that wall, remind yourself, you're only 40% done. Reach into your cookie jar, face your mirror without flinching, and keep pushing. Because just like Goggins, you are never finished. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.